Hi there, welcome to EudretiX, where we make your high school life simple. I'm Aniket, and today we're here with another video on nonlinear equations in one variable and system of equations in two variables, which is part of our advanced math section on the digital SAT exam. So we'll be practicing this. This is the medium difficulty part 1. So make sure you pause after each question, solve it yourself, and then only look at our solution. Let's begin. Number 1. A system of equations consists of a quadratic equation and a linear equation. The equations in this system are graphed in the xy plane above. How many solutions does this system have? Okay, so for any system to have solutions, that means the individual equations in the system, they actually intersect, or they have common points where both of them exist. So for example, in this question, as you can see, this quadratic function, its graph is here, and this linear function is intersecting the quadratic function in 2 points, 1 and 2. So at both these points, the x and y values on the individual equations coincide. So whatever xy ordered pair exists on the linear equation, the same ordered pair also exists on the quadratic equation. So that's like a solution to the system. So two solutions, option C. Next question. Y is equal to x plus 1, y is equal to x squared plus x. If x comma y is a solution to the system of equations above, which of the following could be the value of x? Okay, so x comma y is a solution, they've said that. So we need to find out the probable value of x. The first equation, y is equal to x plus 1, looks pretty similar to the second one, y is equal to x squared plus x. Let's see why I'm saying that, because if you take x in common outside in the second equation, you're left with x plus 1 inside. So x plus 1 is basically the right hand side of the first equation. So the solution could be, the solutions to the first one, x plus 1 is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 1. Solutions to the second equation, x times x plus 1 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, comma x is equal to negative 1. This is a common solution. X is equal to minus 1. So at x is equal to minus 1, what would be the y? Y is going to be 0 in both cases. So minus 1 comma 0, that's a solution for this equation. The value of x would be negative 1. Okay. You could also have checked this through the Desmos graphing calculator, although that's not required in this question, but it's a great thing that College Board has allowed the use of Desmos. So in the next few questions, we might have to use that because it really speeds up your problem solving. So let's look at the next question. The more typical way to solve this question, I'm just taking a moment to do revisit some things, is to equate both the equations, like keep them equal. So y is equal to x plus 1 is equal to x squared plus x. So from here, whatever values we find, we're by default saying that y1 is equal to y2. That's why we've equated these two. So now x plus 1 is equal to x squared plus x. If I subtract an x on both sides, you get x squared is equal to 1, or x is equal to plus minus 1. So as you see, plus 1 is also a solution, because if you put 1, x is equal to 1, y is 2 for the first equation, and for the second equation also y is 2. And if you put negative 1, y becomes 0 for both. So there are two solutions which exist. One is 1 comma 2, the other is negative 1 comma 0. Both the solutions exist. So for our case, option A. Okay. X squared minus x minus 1 is equal to 0. What values satisfy the equation above? So you simply required to find the roots of this quadratic equation. Okay, we can go by the quadratic formula directly. That's minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, where we're using this equation for reference. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So in our case, a is 1, the coefficient of x squared, b is negative 1, the coefficient of x, c is negative 1, the constant term. Let's put the values. So minus b becomes a plus 1, plus minus square root 1, b square is 1, minus 4 times 1 times negative 1 plus 4, 1 plus 4 over 2, 2a. So minus 1 plus minus square root 5 over 2. That's option C. Option C is the correct one for this. And this is actually the fastest approach to this question. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Okay, there's an equation given. 2 times x plus 1 over x plus 5 is equal to 1 minus 1 upon x plus 5. What is the solution to the equation above? Okay. Now this equation does look a bit complex, no doubt. The best, safest, fastest method is to go by the traditional way. 2 times x plus 1. So 2 times x plus 1 over x plus 5 is equal to 1 minus 1 upon x plus 5. Okay. On the right hand side, take x plus 5 as the common denominator. X plus 5 minus 1. On the left hand side, it stays the same. 2 times x plus 1 over x plus 5. Now you must be tempted to cancel the x plus 5s on both sides, but don't do that. Let's go by the traditional way and bring them all to one side. So 2 times x plus 1 minus x plus 4, which we get on the right hand side, over x plus 5 is equal to 0. This is the equation now. So 2 times x plus 1, so 2x plus 2 minus x minus 4 over x plus 5. 2x minus x is x, x and 2 minus 4 is minus 2, x minus 2 over x plus 5 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 2 and x is not equal to minus 5. These are the essential conditions. So which of the following is the solution? X is equal to 2 is the solution. Option B. Yep. Okay. Even if you would have cancelled, you would still get x is equal to 2, but this information would not be present. Yep. Okay, next question. Okay, now 2 equations are given. Y is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4. Y is equal to 4 minus x. One is a linear equation, one is a quadratic equation. If the ordered pair x comma y satisfies the system of equations above, what is one possible value of x? Okay, multiple ways to do this, but let's pick this one where we equate both of them. We say that, let's say at x comma y they both meet, so both y's would be equal. That means 4 minus x is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4. We just equaled both the equations given, both the y's given, since they would be coinciding at this ordered pair. Okay, so now this becomes x squared minus 3x is equal to 0. The 4 and 4 would cancel. Or you can say that you subtract a 4 from both sides and you would still get a 0 on both sides. Okay, so x times x minus 3 is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 and x is equal to 3. There are 2 solutions of this, 0 and 3. Corresponding to both, what is the y? Y for x is equal to 0 is 4. Y for x is equal to 3 is 1. So 0 comma 4 is one ordered pair, 3 comma 1 is another ordered pair. Okay, so this is the possible solution, possible value of x. There would be 2 answers to this, 0 and 3. Both are correct. Let's go ahead. An oceanographer uses the equation s is equal to 3 over 2p to model the speed s in knots of an ocean wave, where p represents the period of the wave in seconds. Which of the following represents the period of the wave in terms of the speed of the wave? Okay, so the oceanographer has modeled the speed s as 3 over 2 times p, where p is the period, and they're asking us to represent the period in terms of the speed. So going the other way around, when we were to represent speed as a function of period, we put speed on one side, isolate it, and make the relation on the other side. To represent the period in terms of the speed, we'll isolate the period, isolate p. To do that, we'll get rid of this 3 by 2. How do we do that? We multiply both sides with a 2, so the equation stays the same, but the 2's here get cancelled. Then we divide both sides of the equation by a 3. So the equation stays the same, but this 3's get cancelled. So P is now isolated and it is equal to 2 over 3 times S. This is how we do it. So 2 over 3 times S is option A, which is the correct one. Okay, let's go ahead. X squared minus ax plus 12 is equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation given to us. In the equation above, a is a constant and a is greater than 0. If the equation has two integer solutions, what is a possible value of a? Two integer solutions. Okay, so those two integer solutions are essentially going to be split. So if when they are combined, we'll get a negative a. That's the usual rule of factorization. So we'll break this 12 down. 12 can be factorized in the following ways. It can be 3 times 4, can be 6 times 2, or it can be 12 times 1. Now a is greater than 0. That's what they're saying. And x squared minus ax, so that means this is going to be a minus a. The result is going to be negative. So when we break down according to the usual rules of factorization for a quadratic equation, what do? We multiply the coefficient of x squared and the constant term. That's a 12 here. Now the two numbers, negative a, should be broken down into two numbers which add up to 12, or sorry, multiply to a 12 and add up to a negative a. So add up to a negative number, but multiplied, they give 12. So both should be negative. In that case only the multiplication would be positive. So it can be negative 6 and negative 2. In that case, negative 6 times negative 2 would give a 12. And negative 6 plus a negative 2 would be a negative 8. So negative 8, this would be satisfied. For 12 and 1, negative 12 and negative 1, this will become a negative 13. So negative 12 and negative 1 can be taken. In that case, the a would become a 13 because negative a would be negative 13. That is also allowed. So possible values of a, negative 8. Negative 8 is coming from negative 6 and negative 2. Negative 13 is coming from negative 12 and negative 1, which when multiplied will give a 12. Now negative 3 and negative 4, when multiplied they'll give a positive 12 as required, and when added they'll give a negative 7. So the values, possible values of a are 8, 13 and 7. These are the possible positive values of a which are greater than 0. All three answers are correct. Okay, so here we wind up our medium difficulty part 1 video for nonlinear equations in one variable and system of equations in two variables. Make sure you keep practicing them. This is pretty much like algebra, where you will study polynomials. It's a similar topic, but here the extra thing is the inequalities which we'll get and the system of equations. Okay, so keep practicing. If there are any doubts, let me know. You can book classes by going to the EudretiX website if you need some extra help with your SATs. Okay, take care. Bye bye.